Welcome to another podcast of Reviving the American Family. My name is Zach,
I'm April.
and today is the Sabbath, so we're going to go over the story of Elijah. All right, we got Lily helping us out today, and she's been wanting to press those buttons, and you're going to hear those buttons today. But hopefully, it's in a little bit of a reverent way, as much as possible.
It's not gonna be.
Yeah, we wanted to make it a little bit fun, but because this story is kind of fun. So the story of Elijah, let's talk about it. The people, first of all, the people of Elijah. This is around the time about 500 years after Moses, and only about 130 years after David. So really, kind of in that same time setting.
Culture is still very similar from the time of David.
Very similar. They knew the stories. So we've got, they know Moses, they know David, and all the other prophets and kings in between that time. So during this time of Elijah, Elijah is the prophet, not the king. The king is King Ahab, and the queen is Jezebel.
So the king married Jezebel.
Yeah, and Jezebel, so Ahab is from the 10 tribes of Israel, and Jezebel is from a different kingdom, not an Israelite, and has different gods.
There she goes.
All right. And so at this point, we have, of course, the God of Israel, and we have what Jezebel brought with her is a god named Baal. Baal is the god of...
He's a pagan.
Yeah.
Many gods.
Yeah, he's the god of crops and rain. And so at this point, you've got the children of Israel pretty much worshiping both. They're a little bit of fence sitters. They're not choosing
crossing
one.
The streams.
They're crossing streams.
Streams.
Yeah. So they're
never cross the streams.
Yeah, you don't cross the streams. And then Elijah, at this point, is the prophet, and he's kind of out in hiding. And finally, he comes out of hiding to the king of Ahab, and he says, "You know what? We're going to prove that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the one true God." And he takes everybody, or he tells the king, get everybody up to this mount, gather everybody up, gather your 450 prophets of Baal, and let's get up there. We're going to do a contest. And a contest involves, there's going to be two altars. There's going to be the altar of the Lord and altar of Baal. On each altar will be made of stone with some wood and then a sacrifice. I think it was an oxen or a cow or something like that. So he goes, your prophets can go first. Let's see what they got. So they go first, and they're praying all day and all through the afternoon, all in the morning, of course, and nothing happens. They can't get their God to answer. All they hear is crickets. And okay.
How long does that thing go?
The God of Baal cannot. There is no God, so they're not helping him out at all. And at this point, Elijah is like making fun of them. Even he's teasing them and saying, "Hey, maybe pray louder. Maybe they're on vacation. Yell, see if they'll hear you." So yeah, he's teasing them. Comedy hour here, and then so you've got that going on, and they even try to yell louder. They even start cutting themselves like a blood sacrifice. Oh, yeah, they're doing everything they can. They're frustrated at this point. And then now it's Elijah's turn. He's about to bring down the heavens here. And what he does, just to prove a point, he says, before I get started, bring some water and dump it all over the altar.
He's flexing.
And then they do that, and he says, do it again. Bring some more water. We need more water. And then he says, and then he does it again the third time. So this is drenched in water. He he prays to God in a reverent way, not with all this jumping around and yelling and cutting themselves. Just a simple prayer, and the heavens bring down the fire, burns everything. Even the stones are gone. So just completely destroys this altar and everything.
Stones don't burn very well.
I don't think so, but when God wants them to burn, they're going to burn. So the miracle happens. And so that's the kind of the story there. And then the people are converted back to the one true God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. So I think there's a few things we can learn from this story. Number one is I think we got to be careful on who we associate with, and I want to be a little sensitive here. It's not that we're friendly to everybody, or else we're not following the commandments of God. But you got to be careful on how you associate with different people. If they're wanting to bring you down a path that you shouldn't be going down, then you should stay away from that. And I relate that to Ahab and his, marrying someone outside of his area, his faith, and those types of things.
Well, she had heavy influence too. Jezebel obviously had heavy influence on the culture because she was their queen.
Yeah.
So we can relate that back to our families and everything too. We want to make sure we keep those united in belief and everything, because it can be the downfall of our family. And like I said, I want to be sensitive too, because I know some people that have married people that didn't have the same faith as them, and it turned out okay. But more often than not, I've seen it cause heartache and divorce and broken families. So it's a better idea when you marry, to marry someone of your faith, whether that be the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or you're Baptist or Catholic. You want to make sure you keep that family. You're setting off on a journey with someone, and they're going to be your soul partners. So you want to make sure you're united in that, and keep your family together that way.
And then, as your kids are going through school, they should have friends that have likeness beliefs. So hopefully, like if you're a Christian, then you should have friends who are Christian. It doesn't have to be like, we live in an area where there's no one else in my kids' school that are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And when I say that, I'm not exaggerating. There's not one other person.
Not in their school.
Not in their school. So I want them to have friends that have similar ideas and beliefs. They don't have to be the exact same. That's not what I'm saying, but it should be similar.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to marriage for us, we want our kids to marry with inside the faith and be able to have the covenants and those types of things. So that's a little bit different than friends. So that's important for us in our faith. Anything else, April, you wanted to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to marry within your faith. And for some people, your politics really have to line up as well. Those are, for me anyway, speaking for myself, my politics dictate, my faith dictates my politics. And I think most of the time it's with other people too. So if you disagree on politics and religion, it can get really dicey.
Yeah.
To keep a marriage united. I've seen many couples divorce over faith and or politics.
Yeah. I've seen I've had friends that I've had for over 30 years because of my politics. They refuse to talk to me now.
Yeah.
And I guess that happens, but to me it is sad, and I wish it wasn't like that. But that goes to show you, and that's with a friendship. If we're talking about marriage, that's a whole different ball game. So I think you have to be careful there.
Yeah, with politics, I probably wouldn't have said that 20 years ago. But in this atmosphere that we're in, politics has become a very heated topic.
Which is sad. Is sad that it's that divisive. But it is, so you got to be careful. And then also, just on a separate note, how fast the children of Israel fell away. So we're talking about 130 years after King David, which set a really good stage and example of faith, and how he believed in the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, and the miracles that were able to come of it. And then all of a sudden, 130 years later, they're worshiping another God. So I think you got to stay close to your faith. And one thing that I hate to see is people fall away or don't come because someone's offended them or something's happened, and then they're gone, and then sometimes they fall away, and I pray that they come back, but sometimes they don't. And that's sad. And we don't, so stay close. Even when it gets hard, stay close, because the Lord wants you there. Stay close with the Lord. And then, just the miracles, the priesthood. We talk about the priesthood, which is the power and the act of God's name. Here, you've got 450 men of this this god of Baal that doesn't really exist. They can't produce any miracles. But the true priesthood, which is God's power, does produce miracles. And those miracles have not ceased in our days. I think there's some people that believe that they have, and they haven't. You just have to look for it. So that was the podcast for today. Elijah, it's 1 Kings 18 if you want to read through it. And a lot of good lessons to learn from it. So thank you for watching this Sabbath day. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things that you're supposed to do. Follow. Appreciate you guys. Take care and have a great Sabbath.